Hello everybody, welcome to another True Review. Today I'm bringing you Moon Hunters on the Xbox One. It releases today, the 19th of July on the Xbox One, and it's priced at $14.99 in the US and $11.99 in the UK. So Moon Hunters has the odd description of itself given to it by the developers as a co-op personality test, which basically boils down to you have moral decisions to make during the course of the many playthroughs of the game that you'll be making. Now, the story focuses on a struggling world that is a near state of chaos. The people of the world either pray to the sun or the moon, and sadly the two groups don't exactly see eye to eye with one another. It's up to the player to find the missing moon goddess before the sun obliterates the worshippers of the moon in 5 short days' time.
Every time. Journeys end, but stories live on. How will you be remembered? Long ago in this land we call Issaria, our heroes were just travelers trying to find a way home.
You play as one of the many selectable and unlockable characters who refreshingly ditch the usual tags of warrior and ranger, etc. for the likes of more creative titles such as Spellblade or Ritualist. However, this break from tradition does actually cause its fair share of confusion, compounded as each class also has a subtype, which makes things incredibly unclear to what stats the player actually specialises in, leading to a quandary of what actually to upgrade when you reach one of the game's many camps. So each character generally has 3 attacks, which some consume energy, others don't, and you usually have a go-to attack, your kind of like special attack, and there's usually a defensive move thrown in as well. Each of the characters do widely vary, and some of the players in solo play are very difficult to play because they are definitely more aimed at support characters, and if you've nobody to support, then a lot of your abilities are a little bit wasted. But in multiplayer, obviously those characters do find their own. What I did like, however, was the game's method of upgrading, as at the end of each day your party camps and you can choose an action such as praying, stargazing, or just getting a good night's rest, which will boost some of your stats. One interesting aspect, which is sadly aimed at multiplayer, is that you can decide to cook one of the game's many discoverable recipes, which will increase the stats of the whole party except yourself, which feeds back into the morality decisions. Do you selfishly improve yourself, or do you actually help and improve your teammates? So once you've picked your starting area, which is randomly generated each time you play, and explore the area, you could find a multitude of different things, from opals, which is the game's currency, shrines, mysterious strangers, creatures, caves, forced battle arenas. The list is quite extensive. The pattern then repeats for each of the 5 nights, with visits of villages in between, leading up to the final confrontation with the sun god. Now, whilst these maps are generally fun to play due to the variety of playstyles which each of the heroes has to offer, I found myself lacking direction of what to actually do in the game. Whilst I knew I had to find the moon goddess, how did I achieve this? As after many playthroughs, both solo and local co-op, I'm asking the same questions. It's great that you can pick between several levels each day, but the absence of information or context to base your decisions on, it's a little bit of an empty and wasting mechanic, because it is just basically a shot in the dark. So the 5th day ends and you're faced with the sun god, and other than one occasion where I've been able to avoid confrontation completely through dialogue, I've been decimated. Your story is then told based on your encounters and decisions that you've made during your 5-day journey. And whilst the references seem a little odds at one another, they are mostly accurate. A nice touch is, even though it does create kind of a paradox, because each playthrough is set during the same time frame, that past adventures are referenced when you are venturing out as a new hero. One thing that is for certain though, it's a beautiful game to look at and listen to. The art in the cutscenes is top notch, as are the character portraits when they're talking, and the music is similarly produced to a high standard both during story aspects and the levels themselves. The game does have a few issues which really should have been fixed before launch, such as some enemies just standing there whilst you take them out at range, to very long loading times for the levels themselves. However, the biggest gripe, as I mentioned already, is the lack of direction and context to all the decisions you make. Do you watch some baby pigs suckling at their mother, for example, or steal one of the pigs? Each decision will boost a stat, but you don't know which until you've made the choice. We then get situations where an event will award you, for example, vengeance, but then offers no context to how this helps or injures you. What is vengeance? We really need to know as a player. So nevertheless, the niggles aside, the whole is greater than the individual parts here, and we're left with a decent quickfire story-driven RPG which requires many playthroughs to fully appreciate it. It's definitely better in multiplayer, that's for sure. Each playthrough takes about 60 to 90 minutes depending on how successful you are with the level maps. Now, whilst online multiplayer would have been ideal, with a game that takes only 60 to 90 minutes to play, the bugbear I have with local multiplayer only titles kind of isn't as bad here, because getting people together for 60 to 90 minutes isn't too bad, as opposed to getting people together for hours on end to play a larger title. Unfortunately, those of you who do watch my channel regularly will know that when I do a multiplayer game like this, or the multiplayer aspects of a game, I have to go to the people to play in multiplayer rather than them come to me, so therefore I'm unable to capture or record any footage of it, which is a bit of a shame. But you'll definitely get more out of this title if you do play it in multiplayer, that is for sure. But nevertheless, I enjoyed my time with Moon Hunters. It is definitely a decent RPG, a very good story driven, and it's got very high production values. I think just overall, I think the ambition of the game was a little bit too much to take on, and it doesn't quite hit all the strides it was aiming to make, but nevertheless it still is a very decent game. And for the money, if you do actually put the time and effort into this, you will definitely get your money's worth out of this title. So I'm going to give Moon Hunters a 3 out of 5 and definitely recommend it as an instant buy. So I hope you like that review, guys. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next review.